Quorum Court members that are on the committee. It's getting ready to meet. Yep.
Okay. Owen,
Here.
Broughton, no. Young, Hunter, Brazil, Myers,
Here.
Peters.
I think we have a quorum. Call the meeting to order. I believe the first item is a resolution R2339. A resolution to appoint blank to fill the vacancy in the office of Garland County Treasurer and for other purposes.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt. Is there discussion? Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. The ayes have it. All right, next is resolution number R23-30, a resolution confirming the appointment to the Westwood Village Sewer Facilities Board of Garland County.
Move we give it a due pass.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for due pass. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's given a due pass. I think the next is ordinance number 023-37, unless I missed one. An ordinance revising rates for house-to-house solid waste collection and for other purposes.
Move for a due pass.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for due pass. Any questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's given a due pass. I think I've got another ordinance. Ordinance to levy the county, municipal, and school taxes for 2022, collectible in 2023.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adopt. Anybody with any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Motion. Jimmy and Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian.
Okay. So it's given a due pass. We have an appropriation ordinance number 02339, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Garland County Budget Ordinance 02257 to anticipate revenue, appropriate and transfer funds in various budgets and to establish peer specialist recovery grant fund and for other purposes.
Move for a due pass.
Second.
Got a motion and a second for due pass. Are there questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. It's given a due pass. I believe that's it. So that being the case, we will adjourn the meeting, and I guess we're going to go over and watch the Christmas lights. Is that correct?
Yes, the courthouse meeting will be at 6, and then reconvene for the quorum court meeting as soon as we can get that over with.
Well, are we going to sit here for 25 minutes? Or are we going to go out there and see what goes on?
You can sit here and you can tell stories, right? We want to listen to
My
some stories.
stories are all over.
Good evening, everyone. Let's call the November meeting of the Garland County Quorum Court to order. Normally, we have our Quorum Court meetings on the second Monday night of each month, but in November, we have it on the fourth by ordinance, so that we can set the millage rates for all that collect millage, the cities, state, or excuse me, the cities, the schools, the county. Everyone that collects millage will be set tonight. Whatever's turned in by them is what we have. Opening prayer tonight will be delivered by Mr. Brother Don Schultes. If you would come up here and lead us in prayer, then I'll ask you to join me in pledge allegiance afterwards. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here. Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Justice Broughton, Anderson, Dixon,
Here.
Young, Wright, Owen, Myers,
Here.
Brazil,
Here.
Peters,
Here.
McGrew, here, Hunter,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Okay, there's one change on the agenda, the approval of it. Did you change it already, Sarah, with the date on the minutes?
it was just on the agenda.
Okay. We've already got it changed. Sarah's already taken care of it. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Motion made by Dixon, second by, who wants the second?
Brown.
Brown. Motion made by Dixon, second by Brown. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, you've got quite a few minutes tonight, stuff from October and November. We had a couple special quorum court meetings due to the vacancy in the treasurer's office. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes you have in your packet.
So moved. Second.
I have a couple of things I would like to ask about the minutes before we move on.
Okay,
To
if
approve.
you would identify the one that you want to talk
Sure.
about, then we'll do.
You will go to page 4 of the packet. It would be the minutes for October the 9th. It would be the second page. It's the first resolution taken. This had to do with the election of a justice to substitute for you in a meeting. It is accurate in every aspect. However, the fact that Judge Owen did not vote is not mentioned. He either abstained or did not vote. It would seem to me that we ought to have at least the addition of one of the other.
I
Either
believe, I
abstained-
think it says that he abstained in the minutes.
Not my minute, doesn't.
Next to the last line, the first paragraph, Justice Owen abstained.
Okay, I'll go with it. if That's what you say, but it doesn't show. Also on those same minutes, no, I'm sorry, on the minutes of November the 20th, I have a couple of questions. If you'll allow me just a moment to get there. No, it's just one question. It shows Justice Owen as being both present and absent.
Which ones are those, Justice Rainey?
This would be page 8 of the document, and it's the minutes for November the 20th. That's a very short minutes because that's where we had the interviews. but it shows Owen both present and absent.
He told me he could be two places at one time.
Omni Owen. Super JP.
Other than that, I had no questions about the minutes for the quorum court.
I corrected it.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Justice Rainey, for the corrections. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It was Justice Brazil and second by
Peters.
Justice Peters. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Exhibits A through L. Several finance committee meetings in there because we had budget, ordinance committee meetings for 2 months, special ordinance committee meeting, environmental services twice. And Chair will entertain a motion to approve the exhibit.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Justice Henderson, second by
McGrew.
Justice McGrew. All those in favor say aye.
Judge,
Aye.
before we move on and vote on that, I do have a question with regard to Exhibit C, which is on page 21 of the document. It reads, and I'm just asking what question whether this needs to be changed or not. It says Rainey, myself, asked why may was being used instead of shall. We know what they're making reference to. My point is that if this is a document that's read sometime in the future, they're not going to really understand what we're doing. I was challenging why the word may was used in place of the word shall, and I think maybe we ought to change it to read why the word may was being used instead of the word shall. It just makes it more clear. I
Okay.
don't know, maybe I'm
So you want to, Justice Rainey asked why the word may was being used instead of shall.
yeah, so I think it ought to read why the word may, because when you say why may was used instead of shall, I'm not sure everybody's going to follow that.
Sure, we'll fix that.
And then if you would indulge me just a step further and go to page 24 of the document, and that's toward the end of the minutes for the 11th. And here again, it's just for clarity. It reads, a motion for a due pass was made by Justice Rainey, seconded by Justice Anderson. Vice Chair Dixon asked for a discussion, and Judge Mahoney explained to the committee the partnership with the city of Hot Springs and the need to replace it. It's as if we were replacing, it reads, so to speak, that we were talking about replacing the city of Hot Springs. We're actually talking about replacing the generator. So I'm suggesting we change the word it to read the generator so that it reads need to replace the generator. It becomes more clear.
Agreed.
Other than that, I had nothing in the remaining exhibits.
Okay, thank you for catching those, Justice Rainey. Chair will entertain a motion to approve these exhibits as amended.
So moved. Second. Brown.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Peters. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, committee reports. Ordinance Committee. Chairman Owen.
Gave the due pass to all ordinances and other items that are being heard tonight by the court.
Thank you, sir. Environmental Services Committee, Public Works and Buildings. Chairman Hunter.
Judge, we did not meet in November. Exhibit K was a September 18th meetings, and L is October 16th meeting. Is correct.
Thank you, sir. Finance Committee, Justice Brazil.
Finance Committee met November 6th, a special Finance Committee meeting, and everything received a due pass. We also met, let's see, we had a couple of different finance meetings in the recent history, and everything received a due pass on all of those. We had several from different months that we've just now posted. The only one I was not in attendance was the one in September. I would have to defer to Justice Dixon on the one in September.
Judge, Exhibit C properly reflects the minutes that took place during the September 11th meeting.
All right, thank you. Human Resources Committee, Chairman Anderson.
Judge, we did not meet.
Thank you. Public Health, Welfare, and Safety Committee, Chairman Rainey.
Judge, the Public Health and Welfare and Safety Committee did not meet.
And Information Technology Committee, Chairman
Judge,
Young.
we did not meet.
All right, thank you all. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the committee reports.
So moved.
Motion made by Justice Rainey, second by Justice Peters. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, the time has arrived to appoint the treasurer. You will receive a ballot. You initial your choice on the ballot. We will count the votes. If there's not a majority for any one person, then we will have to have a runoff.
Judge, we need to go ahead and at least read the motion as a TBD to get it before the quorum court to properly consider it.
The resolution you want to read.
Resolution.
Sarah, would you please read resolution R 2329 in its entirety?
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to appoint to be determined to fill the vacancy in the office of Garland County Treasurer and for other purposes. Whereas former Garland County Treasurer Tim Stockdale submitted his resignation from office effective October 31st, 2023, and the Quorum Court declared the office of Garland County Treasurer vacant on November 6th, 2023 by Resolution 2328. And whereas Arkansas Code annotated 1414-1308, 1414-1309, and 1414-1310 set forth the procedures to declare and fill vacancies in elected offices. And whereas the Garland County Quorum Court desires to fill the vacancy in an orderly and timely manner pursuant to state law, and whereas having received 5 applications, conducted interviews, and reviewed candidates by such procedures as it deems appropriate, and whereas having determined that to be determined meets the legal qualifications for election to the office of county treasurer and the eligibility requirements set forth in Arkansas Code annotated 1414-1310. And whereas to be determined, having received the required number of votes for appointment as set forth on Exhibit 1, attached hereto and incorporated herein, now therefore it be resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, appointment to office pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 1414-1310. The Garland County Quorum Court hereby appoints to be determined to the office of Garland County Treasurer with all the powers and duties thereof to fill the unexpired term of former Garland County Treasurer Tim Stockdale.
Not yet. We will pass out the.
Judge, would it be appropriate at this time to ask if any member of the public wishes to speak before we vote, since it is an item on our agenda?
If anybody wants to, I mean, it's fine. I want to give everybody the same opportunity. If there are any members of the public here that wish to speak to this tonight. I'm sorry. Come up to the microphone if you would, please. Tell us your name, please. That's not the
There's a switch on the body of the microphone. It's turned off.
Take your time. It's warm in here. It's cold outside.
There we go. I think I got it.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Patrick Gleason. I reside in District 12. And as far as I can see, it's necessary to replace the treasurer. So I would presume that tonight would be the appropriate time to do so. So that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
Judge, if there's no one else from the public, I'd like to just say something to correct something for the record that happened at our meeting last week. It was published in the newspaper that I had asked I can't remember if the word was inappropriate or improper or a word that was used question in regards to the political affiliations of the applicants, and that determination made by our county attorney very cautiously. And at the time, I didn't think it was that big of a deal when he came over and whispered in my ear that we might get sued if I were to continue to ask that question. But I've been thinking about it, and I've talked to several people about it, and I just want to state for the record that that question was totally appropriate. And this is a partisan elected position, and I feel that anybody that we appoint to this, regardless of whether this position actually has anything to do with partisan politics, which it really doesn't, but the fact of the matter is, the people of the Garland County elected one political party to be in this office. And I think that that was a totally appropriate question, and I didn't like it being construed in a way that I had done something wrong when in fact I didn't. So I just wanted to correct that for the record.
If I may, Judge, I want to agree with that point that that was not an invalid question. Judge Mahoney rightfully and on the 6th of November at our meeting expressed to the quorum court that we would be like the public, like the voting public, we will be acting a very important responsibility to elect this person to be seated for 3 years. I read the article and really didn't catch it that night. I think I heard his question. I didn't know what the follow up to his question involved. It is a partisan seat. I don't think that there's a chance to change that tonight. I just want to suggest going forward, if this is done again, this is not a private sector appointment or a job interview. Given that it's a partisan seat and that someone could evolve into that seat that is not of the same partisan persuasion, that if we were given the responsibility, as I believe that you expressed, you're the voters, you're the people, you've got great responsibility to do what the voters would do. You're voting this person into office. So I just suggest that going forward, the criteria for an interview, given that this was somewhat treated as a secular interview or a private sector interview, it is not a private sector interview. It is a partisan seat being replaced by a quorum court that is acting as the public. So I hope that if this occurs again, a resignation, that would be one of the questions.
Justice Young and Justice Myers, I understand what you're saying. I think that the reference to that was because we were treating it as interviews, and that's not something you ask in an interview. This is all new to us as well. It's the first time I've been a part of it. First time we've had that happen here since we've been a part of the quorum court, or since I've been a part of the quorum court. So I understand your concerns, but I think that the fact that we called it an interview, although you are charged with making a decision for the electorate here, and they will be here for the rest of the term. But I do understand your
Thank you.
point.
Just going forward.
Judge, before we move on, if I may make a point, I can understand the objection. I can understand what was said by both Myers and Young, Justices Myers and Young. I take a different point of view. I think our responsibility to the county is to provide the county with the best employee we can get, regardless of what their political affiliation is. I know as a Republican, I take a pledge to further Republicans to be in public office, and I won't shirk that duty. But if it comes down to making a choice between someone who is ultimately qualified against another candidate who is not qualified, and that unqualified candidate just happens to be a Republican, I in good conscience could not pick anyone but the superior candidate. It's just that simple for me. And I just want to go on record with that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have anything before we take a vote? Okay. Just let me know when you're complete and we'll pick them up and count them. Okay, Sarah Smith, the county clerk, has compiled the votes. We have a new county treasurer. Miss Vivian Thomas has been appointed to be the treasurer. Congratulations, Vivian. And I know that you've already been assuming responsibilities, so tomorrow should be no different than the other. Other than we'll get your name on the door just as quick as we can. You want to come up and take the oath of office? We don't have it prepared. We'll do it first thing in the morning. If you want to come to my office, I'll get you sworn in the morning. We'll get someone to swear you in. And if you got something you want to say to everyone, feel free to.
I just want to say thank you very much. We will do a very good job in Garland County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vivian. I'll see you in the morning. Okay. I guess we need to fill in the blanks on the resolution and read it again and vote on it. You ready? You can just read by title only, put the name in there, and then we'll move on.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution to appoint Vivian Thomas to fill the vacancy in the office of Garland County Treasurer and for other purposes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Dixon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Sarah, would you please read R 2330 by title only?
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, a resolution to be entitled, a resolution confirming the appointment to the Westwood Village Sewer Facilities Board of Garland County, Arkansas.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Peters. A little history on this. This is as you're going out Albert Pike and you near River Bridge, there's a road that turns left there called Lodge Road. There's a subdivision up in there that is, their sewer system is a package plant that was put in probably the late 50s. It's deteriorated and they are getting a grant from ANRC to tie into the municipal sewer system. It's a pretty big project and they have to have a full board for a December 2nd meeting they're having. And so we got this in place as fast as we could. Mr. Fulton has moved to Ecuador, and so he could no longer serve on the board. But we're going to get them in place, and hopefully they'll get that done before we have an issue with the package plant. All those in favor of Resolution 2330 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Because from time to time I have represented this district and others, and I think it would be appropriate for me not to vote on this particular issue.
Let the record reflect that Justice Owen has recused a vote. Okay, Sarah, let's get into our ordinances now. First ordinance 02337. Could you read that in its entirety, please?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance revising rates for house-to-house solid waste collection and for other purposes. Whereas the Garland County Solid Waste Ordinance 09636, codified at Garland County Code Chapter 54, together with the rules and regulations authorized thereunder as amended, regulate the storage, collection, transportation, and disposal of all solid waste generated by residents or commercial entities within the boundaries of the county and outside the corporate limits of any municipality in the county, unless otherwise agreed to. And whereas the cost of operation of house-to-house sanitation collection services have increased substantially and a rate increase is necessary to maintain the operation of the system. And whereas the county judge has requested a rate increase for house-to-house residential collections in the amount of $1 per can per month. And whereas the rate schedule attached thereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit 1 is requested to be effective beginning January 1, 2024. And whereas the Finance Committee has previously met and approved this ordinance, Now therefore be enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas. Section 1, finding the Garland County Quorum Court hereby finds and determines that a rate increase for house-to-house residential collections in the amount of $1 per can per month is necessary to maintain the operation of the system. Further, the Quorum Court finds that the rate schedule attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit 1 should be adopted as the rate schedule for Garland County Sanitation Services beginning January 1, 2024. Section 2, approval. The Garland County Quorum Court hereby approves the rate increase set forth in Section 1 and adopts Exhibit 1 as the rate schedule for Garland County Sanitation Services beginning January 1, 2024. Section 3, codification. This ordinance shall be codified in the Garland County Code of Ordinances, and the sections may be renumbered and relettered to accomplish such intention. Section 4, delayed effective date. It is found by this court that this ordinance and the fee schedule mandated by it should be effective beginning January 1, 2024, to provide public notice and to facilitate efficient budgeting and fee collection procedures.
Judge moves that we suspend rules and place it on its second read.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Henderson, second by Justice Dixon, to suspend the rules and place O 2327 on its second reading by title only. Call the roll, please.
Justice Broughton? Anderson?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Bright? Owen?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Brazil?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
McGrew? Yes. Hunter?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
All right, Sarah, please read 2337 by title only.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance revising rates for house-to-house solid waste collection and for other purposes.
Judge, I move that we suspend the rules and place ordinance 2337 on its third and final reading by title only.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Justice Rainey, second by Justice Peters, place O 2337 on its third and final reading by title only. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton? Anderson?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Bright? Owen? Myers?
Yes.
Brazil?
Yes.
Peters?
Yes.
McGrew? Yes. Hunter?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Rainey?
Yes.
All right, Sarah, 2337 by title only.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance revising rates for house-to-house solid waste collection and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Dixon, second by Justice Hunter. Any discussion?
I know I missed ordinance. I thought we were putting this off for a time. Like, I thought we were didn't we do this recently? The extra increase?
We've been to two committees with it. This is,
Oh, okay, this is the same.
yeah, this is, we went before Environmental Services and we also went before Finance for it.
Okay.
So it's an incremental increase on an annual basis. We did one last year, trying to prepare for the change in contracts that we see coming in 2026 and 27. We'll have both our house-to-house collection and our site that we take our class 1 refuse to.
I'm caught up. Sorry.
Okay, Judge, I've kind of heard this two parts of it, both legitimate, I'm sure, that this is a build up and a work towards the new contract for the landfill that would most likely increase. And when is that contract up?
So the house-to-house collection started January 1 of 2020, I believe. So it will start again, the new one. It's a 7-year contract. The new one will start January 1 of 2027. So we will bid that out in the year 2026. We'll start rather early because people have to have time to get equipment. So probably February or so, we'll start on our bid packet to try to get another 7-year contract. I believe the contract that we have with Republic, which is the landfill we take our class 1 to in Bryant, comes up the year prior to that. I think it started in September of 2019. So it will be coming up the year prior to that. Now, Republic has already been to us and told us they needed a rate increase, but we've got a contract and we refused the rate increase. I met with them and They asked for $5 right now. That was last year, actually, last March. I met with them and they asked for a $5 increase. I told them we were not doing any increases. I fully expect that we'll probably see somewhere around a $7 increase just from the CPIs that have been out. We saw in 21, we saw a 7.8% CPI. In 22, we saw a 7.3% CPI. So I know that they're going to do that. And another thing we have to be aware of is the fact that Waste Management operates the landfills where we used to carry our Class 1, 2. One is in North Little Rock and one is in Pine Bluff. So you have to take into consideration the cost of us traveling that much further should they get the bid. And it would basically cut a load per truck per day out of what we're doing right now. So we have to look at perhaps putting another truck on to carry to North Little Rock. It's all the way around where 440 comes back into 67. It's over there, and it's a long drive over there. And we're just going to Bryant right now with it. So the cost, the extra cost in fuel, wear, and the fact that we can't get as many loads over there each day would have a huge effect on this. And what we're trying to keep from doing is getting our new contract and telling the people, well, this went up $10 and we're going to have to go up $10 to you. We're trying to incrementally increase. So we have them budgeted, prepared for an increase because we know an increase is coming.
Okay, thank you. Let me frame it for myself a little differently. Is the increase that we would see now just for that future increase, or is it because we're having a shortfall now in covering costs?
We're having a rate study done. Actually, I've asked Craft and Toll, now I keep wanting to call them B&F, Craft and Toll Engineering. We've asked them to do a rate study for us on landfill fees. And it will probably take about 3 months to do that rate study, but we're looking at what we're charging at the landfill, because what has started happening, we're getting companies that are coming here from North Little Rock to bring construction materials here. And if you can truck something from North Little Rock to our landfill, our rates are not what they should be. And if we can make some changes in our policy with solid waste district, then we will probably look at charging people who do not live in Garland County more at the landfill than what we charge people who live in Garland County, because that's Garland County's landfill. It was built for Garland County. And when you start to see people bringing that much stuff from out of county, like I believe our rate right now is $24 a ton. I think they charge $60 a ton in Hot Spring County. So they don't have a landfill and they're having to truck that stuff over to bauxite when they get it in over there. So they're obviously, the people from Hot Spring County are bringing their waste over here. But as far as operations right now, we're doing well, but it's because our tonnage is up. And I've told you before, we're seeing lessening years on our landfill. We went from being about having 60 years left down to less than 40 years left. And that's only been over a period of 2 years because our tonnage that is coming into the landfill has increased so drastically. We just last year opened up last cell in the phase that we're in, and we're already applying for a new phase to open another phase. So the tonnage is up. The funding that's going into it is adequate at this time with the staff we have, but you have to think forward and be proactive and try to make sure that we don't have to hit our county residents with a $10 increase all at once when we get those bids in.
Thank you.
Judge, I just have a quick question on that. So if I understand you right, it's not that we need the money in 2024, this extra dollars, that we're preparing the house-to-house customers, residential customers, for a potential larger rate increase if it's needed in 2026, 2027.
That's the initial idea. Yes, sir. That's incrementally increase rather than having to do it all at one time. And given the cost of fuel and the things that have occurred over the past 2 years, it is necessary that we have some increase to try to offset the increases that we've paid. The only thing that's giving us a good margin now is the fact that the tonnage is up, but at the same time, it's reducing everything else. It's making our equipment wear out a lot faster. So we've increased our revenue stream, but we've also increased our expense stream. So we have to try to keep up with it.
You brought up something interesting. I'm glad to know about that you're having a rate study done for all of our rates in regards to the landfill. Since we don't need this dollar right now, we're kind of in a bad economy. We've still got, we might be going into a recession, might already be in one. Inflation is still bad. We've got various different things affecting the people that in our community that $1 a month may not sound a lot to you or me, but some people, it does make a difference. And people are living paycheck to paycheck. Would there be any way for us to put this off until that rate study came back?
The rate study's on our landfill, it's not on our house to house.
But where I'm going with that is if we raise commercial rates a certain amount for those people that are outside of Garland County, like you're talking about, is there any way that that will potentially offset the house to house? It's all, I mean, I know there's different funds, but it's still all solid waste at the end of the day.
One is obviously house to house class 1, and one is class 4, what goes in our landfill. What we're studying is the landfill fees. And we have to make sure that our landfill is functional to where we can take care of it and keep it operating. And we also have to make sure that, our house to house contractor gets a CPI each year as well. And we have not been able to see those CPIs in collections, yet we see them in paying out. So I think this rate is necessary right now, but it's also going to offset the having to put a large increase on everyone when we get to the end.
Right. I appreciate where you're coming from and everything. I personally feel that we, even since we started talking about this resolution, gas prices, diesel prices have gone down, kind of surprisingly, at least to me. So we're expecting it to be bad from 2026, 2027. But if we go into a bad recession, which we very well could, it might not be as drastic of rate increases as we think it might be right now. So at this time, I'm going to vote against this ordinance, but I respect where you're coming from.
Thank you. Anything else? Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
No.
Wright, Owen, Myers,
No.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
McGrew, yes, Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
Yes.
All right, Sarah, would you please read 02328? Excuse me, 02338 with a correction. Second line or second paragraph in 02338. We had to change, and I think Sarah has given out copies of it too. Okay. She's got corrected versions. It says an ordinance to levy the county municipal and school taxes for 22 collectible and 23. That should be 23 collectible and 24 because we're actually levying the taxes for that year. It was 1 year behind. Is that clear as mud? Okay. Please read 02338 in its entirety with the changes.
be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to levy the county municipal and school taxes for 2023 collectible in 2024. Whereas in accordance with Arkansas Code annotated 1414-904B, the Quorum Court at its regular meeting in November shall levy the county municipal and school taxes for the current year. And now therefore be enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas. Section 1, the taxes levied for Garland County, Arkansas are as follows on all real and personal property. County General Fund, 1.2 mils real, 1.2 mils personal. Road Fund, 0 mils real, 0 mils personal. County Library Fund, 1.6 mils real, 1.6 mils personal. National Park College, 0.8 mils real, 0.8 mils personal property. Section 2, the City of Hot Springs, Arkansas reported no levy of taxes. Section 3, the taxes levied for the City of Mountain Pine, Arkansas as adopted by its City Council are as follows on all real and personal property. General Fund, 5 mils real property, 5 mils personal property. Section 4, the taxes levied for the town of Lonsdale, Arkansas as adopted by its City Council are as follows on all real and personal property. General Fund, 1.5 mils real property, 1.5 mils personal property. Section 5, the town of Fountain Lake, Arkansas reported no levy of taxes. Section 6, the taxes levied for the school districts of Garland County, Arkansas, as reported by these districts, are as follows on all real and personal property. Jessieville, number 1, 30.7 mils real, 38.7 mils personal. Lake Hamilton, number 5, 40.2 mils real, 40.2 mils personal. Benton, number 8, 41.9 mils real, 41.9 mils personal. Magnet Cove, number 8, 47.78 mils real, 47.78 mils personal. Mount Ida, number 20, 34 mils real, 34 mils personal. Center Point, number P-43, 38.5 mils real, 38.5 mils personal. Lakeside, number 9, 41.3 mils real, 41.3 mils personal. Cutter Morningstar, number 21, 48.6 mils real, 48.6 mils personal. Mountain Pine, number 46, 39.9 mils real, 39.9 mils personal. Hot Springs, number 6, 41.6 mils real, 41.6 mils personal. Fountain Lake, number 18, 34.8 mils real, 34.8 mils personal. Section 7, all laws and ordinances and parts thereof in conflict are hereby repealed.
Judge, I move to suspend the rules in place. Ordinance 2338 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Broughton. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Wright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
Sarah, please read ordinance 02338 by title only with the changes.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to levy the county municipal and school taxes for 2023 collectible in 2024.
Judge,
We submit ordinance 2338, its third reading by title only.
second.
Motion made by Justice Rainey, second by Justice Brown, to place 2338 on its third and final reading by title only. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Wright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
McGrew, Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
Okay, Sarah, 2338 by title only.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to levy the county municipal and school taxes for 2023 collectible in 2024.
Judge, I move we adopt ordinance 2338.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Justice Brazil, second by Justice Peters, to adopt 2338. Any discussion?
Second.
It already has a second.
Hearing none, Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Wright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
Chair will entertain a motion to place appropriation ordinances
So
on,
moved.
Second.
well, I guess we need to read it once first. You want to read it also? Let's go ahead and read it. We'll read it in its entirety.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Garland County Budget Ordinance 02257, to anticipate revenues, appropriate and transfer funds in various budgets, and to establish the Peer Specialist Recovery Grant Fund and for other purposes. Whereas the county judge received a $15,000 donation from Arvest Bank, which has been received in the treasurer's office to help pay for acoustics in the Garland County Armory Building, and would like to appropriate these funds in the General Reserve Capital Improvement Fund Special Projects Budget. And whereas the county judge received a $18,792 reimbursement from USAA Insurance for a rear flail mower damaged in an auto accident, he would like to appropriate these funds in the county road budget. And whereas the county judge requested an appropriation of $125,182 in the Arkansas Historic Preservation Program Grant Fund, the county judge's budget to pay back the Washita Memorial Hospital Sale Fund. And whereas the Quorum Court has authorized the Circuit Court Division I judge to apply for the Peer Recovery Specialist Grant in Resolution R2322, the grant was awarded and appropriated by Ordinance 02331. The Circuit Court Division I judge would like to establish Fund 3578 as the Peer Recovery Specialist Grant Fund. And whereas the Finance Committee previously met and approved this request, now therefore be enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, Arkansas, Section 1, that anticipated revenue for the General Reserve Capital Improvement Fund is $15,000, and the Quorum Court may appropriate these funds in the special projects budget. Line item 1801-0112-4002, buildings, $15,000. Section 2, the anticipated revenue for the county road fund is $18,792, and the Quorum Court may appropriate these funds in the county road budget. Line item 2000-0200-4004, machinery and equipment, $18,792. Section 3, that anticipated revenue for the AHPP grant fund is $125,182, and the Quorum Court may appropriate these funds in the county judge's budget. Line item 3553-0100-9999 transfers out $125,182. Section 4, that the Quorum Court establishes Fund 3578 as the Peer Recovery Specialist Grant Fund. Section 5, that the sum mentioned in Section 1 represents an increase of $15,000 to the General Reserve Capital Improvement Fund anticipated revenue. Section 6, that the sum mentioned in Section 1 represents an increase of $15,000 in the special projects budget. Section 7, that the sum mentioned in Section 2 represents an increase of $18,792 to the county road fund anticipated revenue. Section 8, that the sum mentioned in Section 2 represents an increase of $18,792 in the county road budget. Section 9, that the sum mentioned in Section 3 represents an increase of $125,182 to the AHPP grant fund anticipated revenue. Section 10, that the sum mentioned in Section 3 represents an increase of $125,182 in the county judge's budget. Section 11, that Section 4 does not affect the Peer Recovery Specialist Grant Fund anticipated revenue. Section 12, that Section 4 does not affect the Circuit Court Division 1 budget. Section 13, that the county treasurer and the county judge are hereby authorized to execute the following transfers. Transfer from 3553 AHPP Grant Fund to 1800 OMH Sale Fund, $125,182.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll entertain a motion to place O-2339 on its second reading by title only.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Broughton. I'm sorry. We'll have a moment for discussion when we get to the third reading. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
All right, Sarah, please read 2339 by title only.
being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Garland County Budget Ordinance O-2257 to anticipate revenues, appropriate and transfer funds in various budgets, and to establish the Peer Specialist Recovery Grant Fund and for other purposes.
Judge, I move that we place ordinance 2339 on its third and final reading by title only.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Rainey, second by Justice Dixon. Place O-2339 on its third and final reading by title only. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Bright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Peters, McGrew,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey,
Yes.
Chair will entertain a motion. Now let's need to read it by title, don't you?
being
We'll
enacted
get through this.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of Garland County, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the 2023 Garland County Budget Ordinance O-2257 to anticipate revenues, appropriate and transfer funds in various budgets, and to establish the Peer Specialist Recovery Grant Fund and for other purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Dixon, second by Justice Peters to approve ordinance O-2339. Any discussion?
Again, my name is Patrick Leeson, and I live in District 12. And the question I had was regarding the flail mower that was damaged in an auto accident
Yes.
and the transferring of those funds to some other fund.
No.
Why don't they use those funds to replace the flail mower?
No, so the insurance company deposited into the treasurer's office the funds for the flail mower, and then we're transferring them to the road fund. so they can be used to replace the flail mower.
Okay, so the replacement of the flail mower comes out of the road fund.
Yes.
Okay, that,
And it was a net fault accident by another individual. We were mowing, they ran into the back. We're just fortunate nobody got hurt.
got you. Okay, just a question.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. Sarah, please call the roll.
Justice Broughton,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Wright, Owen, Myers,
Yes.
Brazil,
Yes.
Pierce, McGrew. Yes. Hunter,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Troutman.
Judge, I've got a statement that I need to make that's going to require me to leave the room before Mr. Troutman begins speaking. In my public office, I don't want there to ever be an appearance of a conflict of interest in anything I'm ever doing up here. So I'm going to recuse myself from any discussions or votes in regards to the Hot Springs Metro Partnership for the near future until my case in district court is adjudicated, because Mr. Troutman is going to be called as one of the witnesses in that trial. And I don't want anything that is going on in my personal life to seem being in conflict with my justice of the peace position. So I'm going to step out of the room for this discussion, and we'll do so for the near future. Reflect that for the record, please.
Understood.
Judge and court, thank you. Appreciate the time again tonight. Before I get started, I'd like to acknowledge three of our Metro Partnership Board members in attendance are 2018 Chairman Forrest Spicer, also Carol Bell and Kevin Sexton. And since I gave a fairly comprehensive report, the judge noted earlier, because of the schedule, gave you a pretty good report, but it's been 3 weeks ago. There's been plenty happened since. So rather than rehash all that, I'll just start at the first of the month, if that's okay. Reminder that we have been the only accredited economic development organization for the last several years, probably 7 or 8. Pine Bluff recently joined us. The lady down there in my position came from Fort Worth, and she was a big believer in accreditation for our EDO, and she has since followed. We have submitted for it's our turn to submit for 3 more years. We've done so. I think I mentioned 3 weeks ago, but I want to commend Cole McCaskill for all his work on that project, and we anxiously await the outcome. We had a prospect in from out of state for the Majestic, as we're all excited about that, as that seems to be progressing. Cole, Gary, and I attended the Arkansas Workforce Best Practices Summit in North Little Rock with Chief Workforce Officer Mike Rogers from Northwest Arkansas. We talk a lot about National Park College, and rightfully so. Firmly believe, biased or not, we have one of the best 2-year colleges in the country here. We're going to be sad to see Dr. Hogan go. But that aside, Henderson and Ouachita are kind of equidistant from where we're sitting here tonight, and we always want a good relationship with them. There are 4-year colleges of note, and with that, we're looking forward to working with Trey Berry, who was recently named the chancellor there at Henderson. Attended the Arkansas, I'm on the Arkansas Chamber Board, as you all know, attended that annual meeting along with Wayne Smith from Oaklawn. Afterwards, we had a luncheon. The governor spoke, and the reason I mention that mainly is because Alliance Rubber was noted. They were one of the finalists in the contest with the State Chamber and with Arkansas Business Magazine of making one of the 4 coolest products in the state. So I want to congratulate Brian and Bonnie and team at Alliance Rubber there. Since we've met, Honey Baked Ham is opened. I hope you all have been there. It's fantastic if you haven't. We have worked with West Central Planning, Dwayne Pratt's team, on a media plan as part of our Sherm Foundation grant, and we're about to finalize that this week. We're going to be directing people to the Workforce Center for resume assistance, interview training, and help in the job process. We participated in the Arkansas Broadband Committee Zoom meetings. We've hosted the State Chamber with Oaklawn, did a walkthrough in anticipation of hosting that event next August, which we look forward to getting to have that here in our hometown. We had Cole and I met with a prospect that was interested in a significant property in South Hot Springs. Hope very much to talk to you more about that in the next couple of weeks at these meetings. Really can't expound on more than that at present time. Gary Jackson attended an industry workforce meeting at Hot Springs High, as well as participating in a similar meeting with Spanish students at Lakeside. Cole met with Catherine Holmstrom, formerly of ABC, now with Entergy, and Bill Allison from the college about apprenticeship programs that Entergy is interested in helping us fund here in Garland County. We did a site visit with Body Coat, one of the businesses in the industrial park. That's, I'm proud to say, is expanding greatly. Their business was up double digits in these last couple of years. We had a meeting with Amanda Porter and Principal Westerman from Lake Hamilton, lining out our draft day event for April 17th and 18th at Lake Hamilton. We met with Congressman Westerman's new chief of staff, still fairly new at this point, Nancy Peel, as Cody Burkham, who took Jean Higginbotham's place, brought her by to meet our team. And just on a personal Saturday, last weekend, was just driving to Malvern for some business, stopped by Jones Mill, and it is amazing. I've asked y'all in previous meetings, if you're ever out that way, to take a stop by. All the silos, all the buildings are down on the entire right side, and that's about a 40 or 50 acre spread. So it is truly something to behold. It might not be if you didn't see the before, but the after is really neat. So we're progressing. We've got a meeting with Judge Thornton, as a matter of fact, this Thursday to try to line out what we do next and some marketing. And I might point out we've already had a few calls on it. Had a site visit this last Wednesday with US Vanadium and a walk through there. And, I'm going to talk a little bit passion right here to close up. I've told you in the past few months, being in the schools has really been gratifying to Gary and I and Cole. Today we were in Fountain Lake. We had all of their 10th graders this morning and all of their 8th graders this afternoon. We've got the 8th graders at Lakeside tomorrow, and we go back to Fountain Lake. And I just want to talk about the caliber, the importance of these visits. We have got Dr. Doug Ross from CHI St. Vincent is going with us. We believe Chief Harberton, if he's available, will join us. Tony McKinley, who owns Cobalt Aero Services, and the gentleman, Josh Krause, that owns Fiber Pro. So these are the folks who are taking in the schools, telling them what's available in Garland County, and just reassuring them their future is set. They just need to pick their passion, and they do not need to go to Little Rock or Northwest Arkansas or Dallas-Fort Worth for careers. There are plenty right here in Garland County. And Judge, with that, I will close, other than to say we will have knocked out 6 out of 7 this week. We've got Hot Springs School District on Monday, and we'll have been in all 7 schools this semester.
Move we accept the report.
I'm sorry?
Move we accept the report.
Second.
Motion made by Justice Brown, second by Justice Henderson. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Gary. Acknowledge of an overtime report in your packet. Let's see, October is up just a little bit from September. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Acknowledge of your overtime report in your packet. You can see October is up just a little bit. You can pretty well tell where your expenses are there. Landfill, once again, tonnage being up, more trips to bauxite than what we're used to. The communication center is fairly high, but we're short 3 there as of today. Most of the things you're going to see here, because we've been shorthanded throughout the year, but we are gaining ground on that. We, at one point past month, we had both the landfill and the road department at full staff. We still have full staff at CDL truck drivers, which is a miracle. But we're lacking a few laborers here and there, but overall our employment has improved greatly. And I think the sheriff is working on patrol, improving that. Detention center is very few short. I think we've made great progress since May of this year in getting our employment taken care of at every level. Any old business?
Judge, may I ask the chair a question? On the detention center, you were fully staffed. Are you, he said a couple of short maybe at the
We're still
detention?
fully staffed,
How many?
fully staffed.
Fully staffed. On overtime, can we expect to see overtime there start to come down?
Should come down a little bit. There's so much going on out there. There's only so much you can do as far as controlling
Yeah.
the overtime. We still have sicknesses, vacation, situations like that that put shifts down. Hospitals, when we have an illness out there, we have to send someone to one of the local hospitals. It takes at least one deputy, which pulls one away from the shift. So there's always going to be situations that are going to demand overtime.
Had
Yes,
you,
we can see it going down a little bit.
had you achieved full staff in October?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that would come down. It went up substantially in October. It's double September. And I've always envisioned being that short staffed that there's going to be a lot of overtime drawing people in to pick up shifts and so forth. So I thought that might be coming down, but it looks like it doubled over the previous month. So,
There's always so much going on. It's such a complicated operation out there. It's hard to put your thumb on saying, yes, this month we're fully staffed, so it's going to go down. There's always something going on. A lot of stuff going on.
Thank you.
We try to keep it at a minimum. Though.
Could be the flu or something. Might bring a full staff down to way down. Thank you.
Justice Young, you might also want to keep in consideration, there's quite a bit of training that goes on with new staff. And so, you know, you might hire 10 people, but they all have to be trained. So somebody's got to train them. And the situation we had gotten into prior to having full staff was that our trainers didn't have time to train because they were on the floor. So that's one reason you're seeing that. I think we'll see it come down some, but sickness, vacations, training, off-site training, things of that nature will always cause some out there. And if you remember when we gave the raises back in May, we reduced the number of positions out there as well. So when you see $20,000 in overtime, that's quite a bit less than even one position. So I think that the sheriff and Chief Elrod have done a great job of working through problems that we've had and getting our new staff trained up and making sure that we've got good folks on the job.
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion to accept the overtime report.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Justice Henderson, second by Justice Broughton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion to adjourn.
We adjourn, Judge.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you all for being here and coming to the Christmas